What up, sports fans all over the world? It is your boy Mac, the Giants fan, here with my guys, the Horsemen, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith, and y'all know the one, the only NYG Jeffy T, always looking down upon us, shining that star ever so bright. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go! Welcome everybody to the another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast here with the Horsemen. It's been a crazy week. Lot going on, man. Especially in the world and the NFL world right now, man. We're gonna talk about all of that stuff in a little bit, man. First of all, how are my guys doing, man? How y'all been this week, man?
Good.
Yeah, I've been good.
I was sick.
Yeah, hopefully, you feel better. I know you've been better this week. Thank you, uh, thank you for joining, showing up for the show, feeling on the weather. That's what's up. Always got your support. Sick or not, Adam's always showing up, so thank you for that. And also, we're going to be joining by a special guest tonight on Unpopular. He's going to join us on the show. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. I'm constantly going to be on the move and be not home at the moment, guys. So bear with me for that. But the boys are going to hold it down, and I'll be in and out, but my camera's going to probably be off for the majority of the show. So I apologize in advance. So back to you, man. Let's get it.
All right, what's going on? First of all, I want to say thanks in the chat to Daniel Barry. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Chad Schrader, appreciate you stopping in, man.
Thank
No
you.
doubt indeed, man. And with that, man, we're gonna get right to it. Tomorrow night, down in Tampa, got the Royal Rumble taking place. One of the pillar premium events of the WWE each and every year. It's personally my favorite event. Something always a little extra entertaining about the Royal Rumble for me. I always kind of just enjoy the show, enjoy the battle royals. You got the women, got the men's. Adam, you have any thoughts on the Royal Rumble coming up tomorrow night?
This is my probably my one of my favorite events. Like I told you guys last week, I'm a OG. I like all the four major ones are my favorite. But once we get the Royal Rumble, it usually kind of gets you set for WrestleMania, which you look forward to. However, there as much as there's good storylines in this Royal Rumble match. There's things that shouldn't be happening, like Seth Rollins, you're out. Well, the title should be fought for right now. Okay, it shouldn't. We should. He should have the title vacated. You know what I'm saying? While he's healthy, and because you never know what's going to happen. I am of the ilk that WWE has to bring us back with this Royal Rumble. They have to make it compelling. Do not make this about you know, The Rock or anything like that. Make it about the winners. Build a storyline around the champions because when I was growing up, that's how you crowned your champion. Well, at least in the mid 2000s to the 2010s, that's what they did. They make fun of pointing at the WrestleMania sign now, but that was an iconic pose that people hit to signify that you were going to WrestleMania, right? That you were a headliner. And when you headlined, that was who the company was going to be the face of. And I'm not saying you always have to win, but the winners of this past Royal Rumble have not, as Cody Rhodes likes to say, finished the stories. Okay, they've been let down by terrible booking, such as the Bloodline, which I can't believe is still going on. And then you have Seth Rollins, who there are so many champions. You were hoping that something would have happened, that there either could be a new champion or not. Because when I was growing up in my WWE and WWF days, there were major titles that were at stake here, right? Sometimes they even put the 30-man battle royal at the end of the match or even at the beginning so they could show you who the title was, so who was going to go to WrestleMania and fight whatever champion. But now it seems like the story is already written and we're just having the Royal Rumble to have the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? You have CM Punk, you have Cody Rhodes, you have Drew McIntyre, you have so many guys, and there are two titles, but one that you don't want to change hands, and the other one has so many different storylines. It's like, what are we doing here, WWE? You got to figure out, you got to get us a narrower path to the road to WrestleMania as we go. And I don't care. Roman Reigns has got to drop the strap. Even if he went to WrestleMania and fought The Rock, that would be a main event in itself. You don't need him to have the title belt. It's over. He doesn't do anything.
Well, nicely put, Adam. Man, most definitely. The Royal Rumble, I think, is gonna. I think it will be a little bit compelling. I think they've kind of been setting you up for a bunch of storylines to come. I think Monday night on Raw, Gunther coming out there doing the Rollins promo that was telling that said a lot. Gunther last year nearly won the Royal Rumble a year ago, going wire to wire in the Royal Rumble and starting off number one and being the last man eliminated for when Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble last year. So I think we could potentially see Gunther go on to win this Royal Rumble and take that next step in his career and
But
and main
see,
event WrestleMania taking on Rollins, I believe. But that's a possibility. I also see CM Punk, the CM Punk Cody Rhodes thing, that developing into a little rivalry itself, and they can take their rivalry also on a WrestleMania and get a big time WrestleMania match right there. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, they can see like I can see it something like that festering throughout this battle royal, and also, I mean, on the women's side of things, as breaking news, by the way, on SmackDown, I hate to drop, I don't want to drop any spoilers, but it's on live, and we're talking about wrestling right now. The Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka, just won the women's tag team titles, giving yet more gold to the Damage Control faction, and that brings me to who I think is going to win the women's Royal Rumble. I think this is finally the year for Bayley to knock down that door and check that off her list of accolades and throughout her career. I mean, WWE in a sense kind of owes Bailey one, a big one. Really didn't even realize that she didn't even have a WrestleMania match last year, and not only did
yeah,
she
she
not have a
came out of
WrestleMania
WrestleMania.
match last year, and then not only not only did she not have a match last year at WrestleMania, but she also didn't. She's also never had a singles match at WrestleMania, which to me just sounds blasphemous. How is one of the top female superstars in the world, not even just WWE, but in the world, how she had not ever had a singles WrestleMania match ever. I think this is definitely Damage Control is definitely getting some traction, building up some steam, and it looks like this will be the time Bailey go out there and win this Royal Rumble, and she goes on to WrestleMania to take on Rhea Ripley, as she's already so eloquently put that that's who she wants. So we'll see how that all plays out. But what was you trying to say, Adam? Sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying she came out last year, but you were saying she never had a match. I thought she defended a title once. Maybe I'm wrong. But getting back to your Gunther point, here's my thing. I don't care if he wins the Royal Rumble. Just drop the belt and let somebody else have it. Or isn't the showcase of the Immortals where we're supposed to get all the titles? So if Gunther is in the Royal Rumble, because that's what you do, right? The WWE's done that before, where they put guys in. They don't necessarily make them win because they have other plans for them. I need Gunther. If you're going to drop this, if you're going to win the Royal Rumble, I need you to drop the strap at like during the what you could do is if you really wanted to have him drop the strap at Royal Rumble, right, to I don't know, the Miz, let's just say. I'm just using an out opponent. Then when the Royal Rumble starts, you can have him come out and he can be pissed off because he just lost the Intercontinental title, and then you can set him up for going after that big title. So I really think that's how they should do it. I think what WWE has lost is that marquee title match, like the Royal Rumble. You didn't just tune in for the 30-man over the top. You tuned in for the heavyweight title matches, Intercontinental Championship matches, and then sometimes the Royal Rumble match was for the championship. Back in the day when it was vacated in the '90s. So I need that to go on at Royal Rumble.
All right, I hear you. As far as the title match tomorrow night goes with Roman Reigns and the Fatal Four Way, I think that WWE just wants to continue this ridiculous Roman Reigns title run. I just see them playing. I see that playing out as well. I think going into WrestleMania, him going against The Rock, it looks like it's going to be what's happening at WrestleMania. I think that they do want to have the title on him. I think they want to make that match, make it seem like there's some kind of chance that The Rock is going to leave out of WrestleMania as the WWE champion. I think they want to give the fans that little like that glimmer of possibility, which I also think won't really happen either. I don't think there would be no reason to put the title on The Rock because he's definitely, no matter what, not going to be a full time competitor in the WWE. I mean,
So
so
you
that
have
would
him win
just
the
be
Rumble.
ridiculous
He'd
to
be the
put the title
surprise
on him.
entrant.
I mean, possibly that could be the case also, where he's a surprise entrant and he wins the Royal Rumble. That is a possibility. But
I mean,
either
that's the
way,
only way it
no matter
works.
what, if Rock shows up, he's going to the front of the line regardless. He's not going there just to wrestle random matches. He's going to the front of the line, and he already already subtly called out Roman Reigns a couple weeks ago when he made his appearance. He kind of he called him out a little bit in his oh
If
so
he doesn't
subtle
win
way that he
that,
does things.
then I'm not watching WWE ever again. Because if
But
you go to The Rock, the storyline needs to be I'm the head of the table. Rock takes his throne and takes his and Roman bows down, and then he can lose the title, at Revenge or Backlash or whatever the hell the next um, WrestleMania pay per view is. But to me, The Rock is the head of the table, even if he were to lose. You know, this is why scripted events and this stupid storyline needs to die already. Because if they carry the bloodline into WrestleMania as the champion with The Rock, then the Royal Rumble has no purpose. Because all you're doing is, like you said, is setting up other storylines. Punk eliminates Cody. Cody eliminates Punk. Oh, now they have a match at WrestleMania. Like, we can do that with everybody that goes in. I want this to be a clear cut. The champion needs to look over his back, right, to see who is coming. And the fact that they keep putting the strap on him, the fact that they're putting four guys in there with AJ Styles, he could easily have a title. Randy Orton, what did he come back for? To lose a title? Like, why bring these guys back to have Roman Reigns be this immovable object when he doesn't do anything and he's not that in-ring great of a wrestler? And on top of that, the longer you have to have your henchmen help you win your titles, the longer I lose respect for you, because then I go through all the great champions who did it by themselves with no factions or no help and reign supreme. So this storyline's getting stale. You have half the bloodline on one. Jimmy Uso looks ridiculous in the other. You have Solo Sikoa, who needs to step up. Paul Heyman is does nothing really. He doesn't. I mean, to me, he needs to be on somebody that could use him like a Brock Lesnar, not necessarily Roman Reigns. I'm just tired of Roman Reigns. He needs to take a hiatus and let his character simmer, take 6 months off, and then come back and be the face of the place. And I guarantee you, the pop would go immensely through the roof if he does that. Every great champion's done it. It's time for him to take a break. Take your 6 months off. Go be a dad. We don't need to see you. Let the young guy, like LA Knight, when's that guy win the title? Cody Rhodes, when's that guy going to win the title? Drew McIntyre is way overdue for a title. Okay, and we're sitting here putting the title on this guy who never shows up every week after week. These guys bust their ass. They deserve it. The people deserve a champion that's going to be there every night. You don't just put the strap on Seth Rollins and allow him to do it. No. Be a legacy. Your legacy is defined by who you are and when you come out, not because you're taking a hiatus to pretend that you tease because you want to sell some t-shirts here and there. No, that's not how this works.
all right, I hear you, and I mean I agree with you 100%. But this is WWE, and we just feel like I just feel like that Roman Reigns is walking out of there tomorrow night with that belt and taking it into WrestleMania because that's the WWE way. Got our guest, Unpopular Opinion Sports, is now in the building. We're gonna bring him on. We're gonna finish up this. What's going on, Unpopular Opinion, man? Thanks for stopping in. We right now talking about the Royal Rumble tomorrow. Great. Finish this up in a little bit, and we'll be moving on to a different topic. But I just
Yeah,
wanted to
appreciate
say,
y'all.
what's
Can
up,
you hear
Blake
me?
Price? Thanks for.
Yes,
Yeah, I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, boss. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's
Okay,
get it going.
cool. Yeah, do your thing. I'm gonna mute up and listen to you guys.
All right, Blake Price, man. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate you up in the comments, man. If you haven't already, appreciate you subscribe to all our channels up here. Myself, Mac the Giants fan, Adam Costas, Unpopular Opinion Sports, Zion Zenith, and the Hardcore Sports Network, man. We'll be covering the Royal Rumble tomorrow night. If you're interested, stop by, check it out, man. But as far as this WWE way, I mean, Roman Reigns, I think is going to still walk out there with that title, and I do believe that's just how it's going to play out because this, like I said, going into WrestleMania, if he's going in there against The Rock, I just don't see the WWE doing it any other way other than Roman Reigns having that belt on him for that match. I just can't. I can't imagine them doing it any other way other than that. But I agree. LA Knight is his. I mean, you're right. He does get an opportunity, man. He needs. It's time for him to get opportunity, man. He's been putting in that work, especially over the last several months. Guys like him, AJ Styles. I mean, he has nothing more to really prove in his career. But at the end of the day, championship material. Randy Orton, obviously, future Hall of Famer as well. I mean, you can, like you said, you nailed everything. Everything you said is absolutely right. But it's just WWE can't help but get in their own way, and I just don't see it playing out that way, unfortunately. And I just see Roman Reigns walking out of there with that title still. On some other news though, like Blake made a good comment here. WWE needs to move on with the new generation. That's really where it's at, because like I said, I watch the WWE pretty thoroughly. And I know a lot of people aren't fans of NXT brand and stuff like that, but they've got some like really good young talent, up and coming, developing talent on that roster, man, and that can be truly future stars. And they got some guys down there right now that can already step up and be stars, honestly, to be quite frank. I mean, so they need to kind of get
But
out.
will
They
they
need
if
to
you're going to
start
keep a
kind of
title
maybe
on a guy
moving
forever?
on. I mean, well, that's another story. That's another thing. But it's time that they need to start moving on and start showcasing some of this younger talent a lot more, man. They just really do. It's just a lot of good young talent that's emerging in WWE. Even some of the ones on the main roster that's not really getting the fair shakes, man. Austin Theory, guys like that. You got him right now just in a little ridiculous storyline with Grayson Waller and whatever that was running around
Right.
being goofballs and shit. Like you're just wasting these guys' talent, man. These guys are put that work in, and they're good, sensational athletes, man. It's time to just move
Collecting
on
the
a little
checks.
bit. Recycling keep recycling these old guys at us, man. But as far as any surprise entrance tomorrow, I'm not really too sure who it is, who's going to be.
It's with The
I
Rock.
mean, I think on the women's side of things, I think we will be getting Naomi back as her TNA contract ran out. So I'm pretty sure she's going to be popping back up tomorrow. We'll probably see her in the Royal Rumble tomorrow, in the Women's Royal Rumble. And I mean, I'm not really sure about anybody else. Really, I haven't really heard too much about anybody else. Like you said, Adam, possibly, maybe The Rock surprises us all. Who knows? Maybe Brock Lesnar. I've been hearing some Brock Lesnar news again, so who
Oh,
knows?
oh my God.
But we will be seeing. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. It's always a few surprises in the Royal Rumble. That's one of the reasons why it's probably my favorite pay per view of the year. I just kind of have always enjoyed the Rumble. It's just always entertaining, man. But you have any more thoughts on the Royal Rumble before we move on, Adam?
Just stop with the Brock Lesnar stuff already. It's like either he's going to come in here and be the beast incarnate and destroy everything, or I can't see him as this big old cowboy just coming in for a match and hi ho everybody and then leaving. Like you're ruining guys' gimmicks, you're ruining guys' images because we can't move off a belt.
Yes, I do remember Evan Bourne Blake. He is
He was pretty
currently
good.
in AEW wrestling under the name Matt Sydal.
Oh, he's still wrestling?
So yeah, I remember Evan Bourne. Hey, he's in AEW. Matt Sydal. That's his name in AEW.
I didn't know that. I knew he got kicked out for
He's not.
reasons, but
Yeah, he's not quite
wasn't
the
he
same. I mean, he doesn't fly around the way he used to, but
oh. That guy used to cruise around.
he's
He
still
used
in
to be
there.
like a flying squirrel, man. That's what he used to look like in the air.
Yeah, but he's still in there. Yeah, he's still in there doing his thing.
He won a couple of
I think as a matter of
championships,
fact, I think
not
he
big
has a
ones.
match. He wrestled Chris Jericho just the other night. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But
Evan, what a name! That's bringing a throwback.
let's move on, guys. The Royal Rumble is tomorrow night. Make sure y'all tune in
He's 40.
and stop by the Hardcore Sports Network and check out our live stream covering the Royal Rumble, man, with my guy Earl Cole, man. Shout out to Earl Cole and everybody else at the Hardcore Sports Network. But bring Zion back on. And let's move. Let's go to let's change gears, man. Jim Harbaugh stepping up, taking that job in LA for to be the Chargers' next head coach. And how good is the AFC West now, man? I'm not really trying to go down there that road. We thought the AFC West was going to be the shit a couple years ago when it really wasn't. And I'm not sure if Jim
There's a lot of
Harbaugh is
turnover
going
in the
to
UFC West.
really change the dynamic of the AFC West. But we'll see what happens, man. What you got to start with Zion? You want to chime in on this, bro?
Yeah, I'll get in on this one. I'm just was just shocked to see like how this division. Obviously, we thought there was going to be a division to be messed with a couple seasons ago. It seems to be just be Mahomes and Andy Reid's division. But the reason why I was excited to see Jim go there to the Chargers is because that's a team that clearly has a roster, but they just needed leadership. And what Jim brings is he brings a guy that succeeded in everywhere he coached, all the way down from when he first started coaching in San Diego, the college, Division II college, all the way up to, leading the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. And what a lot of people forget about is a lot of people forget that he was kind of the coach that was willing to take a chance on these mobile quarterbacks with Colin Kaepernick. Before there was Lamar Jacksons of the world, and yes, we had outliers like maybe your Steve Youngs, maybe someone a little bit more mobile, like maybe your Michael Vicks, but we didn't really have mobile quarterbacks all the way up into that early 2010s with Colin Kaepernick, and for a coach to take a chance of to bet on his career and not only that, to do what he did in Michigan, takes the 49ers to the Super Bowl. A lot of people think they didn't have a chance. And not only that, but just coming off of a BCS national championships that holds a lot of weight, being that you know, whatever you can't even lose once in college. So this is the first time that we actually have a national champion coming in with this kind of success. And this is not someone like maybe like Leisure Frazier that was to come back and coach. He didn't have success with the Vikings. This is someone that had success in the NFL, that has success in college, and it's just great to see it for the division. I know I'm taking up a lot of time, but I'm gonna go on and say Antonio Pierce. What an excited hire! I know we talked about it last week, but look at that division. Now we have Sean Payton, we have Andy Reid, we have Jim, and now we have a youngster, which we all know very well, being Giants fans and what he did for our organization in helping us bring home a Labordi and Antonio Pierce. So I just think that this division is extremely competitive, and I know Chiefs Nation, you guys probably think you guys have it for years to come, but hey, when Sean Payton, watch him next year, watch him the year after that, and watch Jim build the team, and he doesn't really need to do much with the Chargers to get them to the promised land. They just need a buy-in on his coaching. If I'm a Los Angeles Charger, I'm stoked to have a Hall of Fame coach be my head coach, and I know Los Angeles Chargers fans are ecstatic about this hiring. Best hiring I think in the offseason so far, and we'll see what happens. Back over to you guys. Let's get it.
Good stuff, Zion. Good stuff. I want to say welcome to the chat, Tudo, man. My man, Tudo. Thanks for stopping in, bro.
Tudo.
No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Appreciate you, man. Always coming through, showing love, man.
Let me
But
make that post as well. Let's get it.
unpopular opinion, man. If you want to chime in on this, talk about the thoughts on Jim Harbaugh joining, taking the Chargers job.
Um, I think I think this is what the Chargers need. Jim Harbaugh has definitely shown he can, you know, turn a franchise around, put some energy into a franchise, exuberate, a franchise. So I definitely think this is a good move. As far as Justin Herbert is concerned, maybe he can eliminate some of the mistakes late in games. And I think the way he's going to do that is by running the football, because Jim Harbaugh in Michigan and with the 49ers, let's not forget, um, they ran the football pretty well. And Jim Harbaugh is no fool. He knows how to get the most out of his roster. So I definitely think this is a pretty good move. It's a move I expected. And I mean, that division, man, with Peyton, with Andy Reid, with Harbaugh now, and with Antonio Pierce, there's definitely going to be a division to keep an eye on. If not for the quarterbacks, for the head coaches for sure. So good move for the Chargers. It's a move they needed, and we'll see if Jim Harbaugh can turn Justin Herbert into the franchise QB everybody thinks he can be.
Well, he's well on his way to being the franchise QB. He just needs a little refinement, and the guy to do that is Jim Harbaugh. See what Jim Harbaugh is? He's a program builder. He builds your program. He builds it for longevity. He builds it for sustainability, and he builds it for you to be contender for a long time. Look what he did with that 49er team. Okay. Colin Kaepernick wasn't great. He knew how to utilize his skill set. He's never had a quarterback this talented on his roster ever. So he now gets to inherit one of the best in the biz. Yeah, that's right. I said the best in the biz. This kid, he's number one in completions in his first 4 years. He's number one in yards in his first 4 years. He's number two behind Marino and Mahomes for touchdowns to start a career. Okay, he's well on his way. He finally gets Justin Herbert finally gets a guy who's competent on the sideline. He's going to hopefully bring out, make the world see what already needs, what I believe is already being shown in games, back out, because Justin Herbert plays pretty well. Not his fault. His defense sucks. That's what he's going to bring to the Chargers. The defense. Look what he did in Michigan. Look what he did with the 49ers. He builds a pretty well-rounded program on every facet. Now, yes, will they make mistakes? Kyle Williams comes to mind in the playoff game, but they were a strong team with that squad. He didn't go to the Super Bowl until he had Kaepernick, even though he had Alex Smith. So I'm excited for Harbaugh. I wanted him when he was trying to come out a few years ago. That was a leverage pull. I didn't know if he was going to do that again. So I wasn't going to say anything about it until the ink dried on the contract. Now that he's in the NFL, I think the NFL is going to be on notice in the next few years when you get Jim Harbaugh in here. Because unlike Sean Payton, who's already in disarray, not knowing whether to start Russell Wilson, not knowing what he's doing, right? Harbaugh has his guy. All he has to do now is build the team and focus on that. He doesn't need to go find him, right? Antonio Pierce, he doesn't know what he has yet. I'm honored that Antonio Pierce gets it, and I'm finally happy because a guy who's earned it, who was on a team, unlike Jeff Saturday, who put in the work and his team responded, deserved to get the spot that he got. And then, of course, there's Big Papa Teddy Bear, Andy Reid, who's right now fighting to get to another Super Bowl. He's been to 6 AFC title games in the last year, 6, count them. I mean, he did that with the Eagles as well. The guy is a Hall of Famer. The AFC West, if not for nothing, the coaches are at least exciting. So there'll at least be personality on the sideline.
Great stuff, fellas. Yeah, no mess, no nest, no just. If I'm not mistaken, Andrew Luck was on the Stanford team, if I'm not mistaken, but on with Jim Harbaugh was there. But I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure he was. But
yes, I think he had Andrew Luck.
But as far as I'm concerned, I think I agree with everything you got, a lot of what you guys were saying. I don't think Justin Herbert's really that much of the issue. I mean, Herbert's numbers speak for themselves. I mean, he's been very productive since he's been in the league. I mean, like Adam, I think Adam, you hit it right on the head. The defense, that has to be the get right. And what I don't understand about this defense is they have some talented pieces on this defense. I don't really understand what the issue. I know what you call it has the issue. Joey Bosa never can seem to stay healthy, but you had Khalil Mack kind of having a comeback season this year, getting back on at the top to playing at the top level out there. I mean, you got on the back end Derwin James, you got Asante Samuel's son
How about comparing the
back
specs?
there. So I think it's a matter of really getting that defense to play a lot more consistent and play some better football. I mean, obviously, you know what this team can do offensively when Justin Herbert's at the helm. I don't think Jim Harbaugh necessarily coming there to get Justin Herbert right. He needs to get that defense right because that's what the biggest problem is on the
They
Los
bring a fan
Angeles
base with it
Chargers,
too. Come
and
on.
that's and I mean, so and this is what the Chargers needed. This is who they wanted. They got who they wanted. Obviously, he was definitely
Paid
number
out the
one on
ass for
their
him.
list of candidates, and they made a great move here. And will it change the dynamic in the AFC West? I guess that's still to come because as long as Patrick Mahomes running out that tunnel for KC, I'm sorry, that's the ultimate game changer right
Think
there.
Andy Reid will ever
And until
retire?
anybody until that's what I'm saying. And people we were talking about that today. Is Andy Reid going to ever? He's not going to just surrender Patrick Mahomes to anybody else. He's going to ride that pony as long as he can. I
I
mean,
mean,
like
like
that's
he's in
just
his mid
reality,
sixties
man.
now, right? You got to think he's thinking about retirement on the back end.
He's the
But
first head coach to win 100 games with two teams.
oh no, he's got a bust and can. Him and Bill Belichick are gonna have their bust and can at the same time. But it's
It's
just
crazy.
funny because
100 wins with the NFC and then 100 wins with the AFC. That's crazy.
insane.
But fellas, yes, this was big news of the week. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh signed with the Chargers, but man, the Chargers ain't the only teams that fill some vacancies, man. Falcons, man, the Falcons went out there and got Raheem Morse and brought him back to the staff this time as the head coach. And the Panthers went out there and signed Dave Canales, the offensive coordinator
I like
from
that.
the Buccaneers.
I do like
So,
that.
what do you guys thinking about these moves?
Can I start
Yeah,
again,
speak on it.
guys?
How do you feel about?
I just want to
All
say
right,
real
Zion,
fast,
go
guys.
ahead.
I'm gonna go first. I'm sorry to jump ship again and go first again, but I think losing organizations stay losing organizations for a reason. Atlanta Falcons, you guys are a losing organization, and the Carolina Panthers, you guys are a losing organization because at the end of the day, you have someone like Bill Belichick that is not even being. You shouldn't even interview if you're Bill Belichick. You should just be able to get the job. Your resume speaks volumes. And for Atlanta Falcons to interview 14 people and just like write it off, and for the Carolina Panthers to not even think of interviewing him is mind boggling for me. Also, too, I do want to defend my point on that too.
Real
Like
quick, Zion.
I
Real
know a
quick,
couple of weeks.
Zion.
Yes,
Real fast. There was no way in the hell Bill Belichick was going to take a job at Carolina to be their head
No,
coach. I'm just
absolutely
saying
not.
that's
that
true. That's
was
100%.
there's
But
They
for
don't
no
them
even,
way in
not
the
to
there's a
world
even,
that
reason
was
why
going to
they didn't
happen.
interview.
but for them not to even consider of him being interviewed is crazy. Even though they know they had no chance. But at
But
the end of the day,
maybe it was Bill that didn't want to interview. Maybe
that
it was
is that
him.
is that
Yeah,
is
he
very
called
true.
up all
That
drunkenly.
is very
Hey,
true.
Bill, you want the job? It's yours. Hell no.
I know I appeared a couple weeks ago on Unpopular's channel, and I was talking about no to build as a Giants coach, just because I don't wanna break down what we are trying to build. Maybe if we shut the bed if we shut the bed, Miz said it perfectly. I know you guys are gonna have this wonderful debate at the end of the show, damn near close to it. But I want to say this: if we shut the bed and we don't draft a quarterback, and Joe Shane and Brian Dable get fired next year because Daniel Jones can't throw the football and succeed in this offense, then Bill Belichick with a year off is technically going to be the head coach. So it's a win-win. So that being said, I want to take that point out of Miz's video that he made today because that is a bomb coach. I don't want to knock what we have.
I'm a 72-year-old man, grandpa, as my coach. I'm sorry. I love Bill Belichick, but there was a time and a place to get him, and the time and the place was when Pat Shermer. We were searching for Pat Shermer. If you could have lured him from the Patriots then, that would have been the time. Now, it's not that I think he's damaged goods, but there's a reason why he's not going to Atlanta, right? There's a reason why he's not going to those places. You think it's a detriment on Atlanta, I think it's a cautionary tale. Like, do I want to really go there, or is he looking for a big fish? Because he can sit back and come back. I don't think at 72 years old, we're talking about. I don't want to age anybody out of a job, but this isn't the 90s anymore, where you have coaches that are like Marv Levy walking around on your sideline. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. They're going for the hip new offensive coordinator, sexy defensive coordinator, whatever, right? And Bill Belichick, while he is named, he's going to go to the fit that he deems the best. I thought he was going to go to LA because, you have everything there. You stay in the AFC.
I would have fit the best too.
It is warm out there in LA. So Atlanta, who knows, man? I mean, Atlanta's probably a quarterback away or a veteran quarterback away to compete. They got Raheem Morris. Let's see what he does. But if Bill Belichick comes back to the Giants, we have real problems. Just put it to you that way.
Yeah, I actually agree with Adam on this. I know
we're going to stop the presses. Stop the presses
later, but this take I actually shout out to y'all premium take, man. Y'all hit that like button. I actually agree with Adam's take on this one. Bill Belichick is not the answer, man. And to be honest with you, do you want to give? It's not just him being the coach, but do you want to give full control over to a 72-year-old? Not to knock on his age, but basically a coach that's gonna be on his way out in a couple of years. Let's be honest. Bill Belichick is chasing a record. Once I think he gets that record, what else does he have to prove in the NFL? He's got the championships. He's got the 6 rings. He's gonna be considered the greatest coach of all time. What else does he have to prove? I think the only thing he's chasing is the all-time wins record. So I think once he gets that, I think he's 15 away. Once he gets that, it's a wrap. So do you really want to invest your future in a coach that doesn't really have a future? And so none of I'm totally on point with that. Go ahead, Adam.
And his coordinators don't do anything. They haven't done anything around the league. So now you're going to bring in a guy who's essentially, let's say he does come into the Giants. Let's build this hypothetical right here because I can see it happening because Mara is an idiot and wants nostalgia and he lives in the fucking 80s. So this would definitely be a Mara hire. And he's like, oh, come get the title here with the New York Giants, right? And then Bill Belichick gets the title, doesn't win, gets us to a couple playoffs, doesn't win, but then there's no succession plan, right? So now you have a guy who's probably going to leave, and all his coordinators are going to leave. If you're telling me that Bill Belichick's coming in as a consultant or part of the organization as an advisory role, like what Parcells did with Miami, then I said, I welcome, bring him in. I would love to see his eyes for what he can do and his football acumen in the building to kind of build the team. But to have him on the field as the head coach in the New York media, the way he answers questions, oh my God, he can get away with that in New England. The New York media is going to come. Well, the New York media right now sucks, but when it was good, they would be asking him actually legit questions right now. He's not going to be able to round it down. Shit ain't going to fly here. They're going to be like, yo, man, shit ain't going right. We need fucking answers.
Yeah.
Well, look,
definitely.
Well, look, the Bill Belichick ain't going nowhere that he got to build things back up, like build it all the way back up. He's not going to project situations. There's a reason why he only interviewed with teams like in Atlanta or Chargers. He's not going somewhere that I think Alex says it here. I mean, he's like 26 wins away from the record. Alex says here in the chat. Shout out to Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx too. Appreciate you, Alex, stopping in. Go sub up to Alex, him and his brother over there in their home. He's doing big things over there on Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Doing great stuff, man. But what's going on, Buddha? My homie Buddha. Appreciate you stopping in, bro. But yeah, Belichick, what's going on, Lou G Nation? Everybody popping in there all of a sudden, all at once. Appreciate y'all coming through. Go sub up to G Nation Sports, man, doing this thing.
On Twitter for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get the likes up, the views
Appreciate
up.
You.
No doubt.
Appreciate you. But yeah, so Belichick is definitely kind of, nobody seems that interested, but he's definitely playing a wait and see game. He's going to pick his spot. He ain't just going nowhere all willy nilly. Like you said, Carolina earlier. You said Carolina didn't contact him. They might have very well contacted them. You might have very well just hung the phone up in their goddamn ear and said, "Y'all can't be serious. You're
Like, I'm here.
not even a contender.
I can see how that
You're
conversation
not even a
went.
thought on my mind."
Hey, this
So-
is David Tepper. I'm at happy hour, and I was just wondering, Bill, if you want to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, I promise I won't throw any drinks on you. I just want to make sure that we're clear. And oh man, no, but he's gonna be able to have his
this. All right, pause. I don't know. All right, pause, Lou. My bad. But yeah, the
can
Bill
tell
Belichick.
Bill.
I lost my train of thought now.
Listen, if you can tell
I
Bill
mean, Bill
Belichick,
Belichick
listen,
is definitely.
you can be the coach, but you have to work with a GM, then maybe it works out. But if you're trying to have him be the guy at 72 years old, man, like you can't be doing dual roles. He has to be able to have an ego check. He'll probably do what Sean Payton does if he wants to coach, and what all the greats do. They go on TV. He'll end up on Fox or NBC or CBS as an analyst. Hey, coach, what are you saying today? Yeah, this guy, and then get his chops wet like that. Then the hiring circle will go and his name will be out there, and I'm sure he'll jump more than Bill Cowher. Remember those days? Bill Cowher's coming back. Bill Cowher's coming back. I think Bill Belichick wants to be – he's like Tom Brady. He wants to have all the records. He wants to have all the wins. He wants to beat out Don Shula. So I think he'll try to do it one more time.
Well, look, I don't know, Bill. I think you mentioned it earlier a little bit too. I think it's just also just the fact that at some point, man, the game kind of passes you a little bit. Not saying Bill Belichick's not obviously a great football mind still, you know what I mean? Man, obviously knows exactly what he's doing, but it's just the teams are going in that direction of the younger head coaches, man. It's just a new generation now, guys coming up, and you're seeing what guys like a D'Amico Ryans this year was able to do with the Houston Texans team. Got Antonio Pierce coming in, stepped in as an interim for the Raiders, turned their season around, and now he's been hired as the full time head coach. I mean, teams are going in directions like that. I'm sure you got Washington right now sitting there just waiting for Detroit season to end so they can get in touch with their OC. I'm sure he's the hot commodity that these last couple of teams, Seattle and Washington, are looking to interview and try to get Ben Johnson, try to get him over there and be part of their situations, man. So I just think teams are going in directions like that, man. They're looking for the new blood, so to speak, man. And some of these older guys, they're just kind of starting to weed their way out, man. Bill Belichick, he's Bill Belichick. Obviously, he'll catch on with somebody, but I think this year he will be just probably taking that seat, like you said, Alan. Probably do a little TV stuff, whatever, and then maybe get back into the mix next year when he can have maybe a few more choices of where he wants to go. But he's definitely not going nowhere. He has to build back up. He's going somewhere where he can pretty much win immediately. So we'll see how that all turns out, man. Unless y'all have any final thoughts, we can get ready to move on. What's going on, Miss? Appreciate you stopping in, bro. And at this time, man, we're gonna do a little something for y'all. Adam, NYG, they about to go head-to-head battle about the New York Giants, little debate. New York Giants, how they feel about the New York Giants draft situation, direction this team should be going in. So at this time, we're going to give the floor to Adam, NYG, man. And I don't know which one of y'all want to start. I ain't got no coin to flip or nothing, man. But
well,
go ahead, man. It's the host, man. The host get the pick.
Well, I was going to say
It's
since
y'all platform.
Unpopular.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say since you are our guest on the show today, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Look at that moon, though.
Let you
look at that moon, real quick.
let you go first.
Getting a drug raid right now. What the hell's happening with you, man?
We'll let you go ahead and go first, man. Let you go first. Start this thing off, man, and then we'll let Adam rebut.
All right, man. So to be clear, just to be clear, I'm not arguing Daniel Jones. I'm not arguing that point. My argument is the trade up in the draft to draft a quarterback, which I think in this draft with this New York Giants team would be a mistake. Now, let me get into the reasons why. Let's talk about draft capital. So, when you look at the draft chart, and I can screen share if you guys like, but it's up to you if you want me to do a screen share. But Chicago currently has is valued at 3,000 points for the number one pick. The
You
New
can share
York
your screen if you want,
Giants,
bro.
yeah, let me do that so I could show y'all what I'm really talking about here. I don't play around. All right,
And the
here we
dog
go.
was barking
What
at
up,
us.
Nomad?
He said, "Yeah, we kind of
Y'all can see that? Can y'all see that?
can."
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
It's
All right.
on the screen. I
Cool.
don't know how big it looks on people's computers.
All right. Well, that's about as big as I can get it. Pause. But without it looking crazy. So if you can see here, Chicago, 3,000 points. All right. And this is actually a good site to check out. It's called drafttech.com. It gives you the trade value chart for the draft. So, and I've actually cross-checked this with other sites, and it's pretty much on point. So Chicago's worth 3,000 points. You see right here the New York Giants, and they have all the New York Giants highlighted their draft picks. So I'll scroll down a little bit. Right there, you see 47. So that's all the New York Giants draft points. All their draft capital combined is 29, 10, 40. Now, you're talking about 3,000 points. So they don't even have enough draft capital with their entire draft to move up to number one. So you know what that's going to entail. That's going to entail you putting future picks into this trade up. You know what I'm saying? So you would probably have to give up the 6th, the 39th. That's about 2,100 right there. The 47th, which would put you at around what 25, and then another first round pick next year. Because what I was told was that the the way they do the draft is a future first is worth 500 because you don't know where in line that pick is going to fall. So they value it at like 400 500 points. So you would have to give up all that and a future first, which would leave you with like a third and a bunch of back end picks. So if you're trying to build a roster now, the Giants the Giants have 26 pending free agents. Let me list those for you guys. Adoree Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Tyrod Taylor, Isaiah Simmons, Ashawn Robinson, Paris Campbell, Raheem Nochez, Xavier McKinney, Jahad Ward, Breida, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into the back end guys, whatever. But those are all your free agents. So now you're going to need a corner. You got Adoree Jackson. I think a lot of people don't think he's going to be back. We know what's going on with Saquon. Doubtful he's going to come back. You're gonna if you can sign Isaiah Simmons, that's reasonable. You still need depth on the linebacker position. Xavier McKinney, that's another key free agent. If you can't sign him, now you have a hole at safety. So you have a lot of different holes here that you have to fill. And again, you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 draft picks and around $27 million in cap room. So tell me how you plan on building out your roster if you trade away all those picks and you have limited cap room to go up and get this quarterback. You know, and I don't want people to tell me that, hey, look, well, you know, just take a chance, just roll the dice, because I'm gonna show you why rolling the dice ain't good. Let me stop sharing, and I'm gonna give you another share screen here. We're gonna be thorough with this thing here tonight, fellas. So, share screen here. Bong bong. Where is it at? Right here. 29 teams, 29 times team straight up quarterback. All right,
Oh, you got the same article I referenced. Nice.
All right, that's what's
I
up.
love how you coming with the references. Love how you coming with the references, bro. Appreciate that.
Gotta come. Well, listen,
Coming
I wrote
prepared.
notes down too to counter all these points because I read this exact same article that he shared, and it's got
That's
Josh
cool.
Allen in it. It's got all these.
Yeah, but you missing a lot of points. First of all, they don't have. Matter of fact, let me give you the other one that's a little more updated. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We ain't playing with you. Let me give you the other one. All right. Back to the screen share. Bong bong. All right. Here we go. All right, man. Look, so Panthers take Bryce Young. Jury's still out. Jury's still out on Bryce. I'm not gonna hold that one. Same thing with Will Levis. Jury's still out. Trey Lance, we already know. Bust. Unless he can resurrect his career in Dallas somehow behind Dak Prescott, he's a bust. Justin Fields, they're already talking about getting rid of him and drafting Caleb Williams. So we'll throw that one out. Jordan Love, I'll give you that. So that's I'm just going to do the stats. We got one. We got Love. If you think Love is the real deal, which I think the jury's still out on, but because what we got to give quarterbacks 3 to 4 years. So Sam Darnold bust. Josh Allen hit. That's 2. Josh Rosen bust. Lamar Jackson, that's 3. Trubisky bust. Mahomes 4. Deshaun Watson messed up his career. Bust. Goff 5. Wentz bust. Lynch bust. And then if we go back even further to the original article that I was going to share, let's go back. Let's do it. Let's be thorough. Sorry, it's going to be a lot of, let's see. Oh, there it is. So here we go. So we already talked about them. Let's go back again. Where we start at? Lynch, right? Manziel, bust. Bridgewater, bust. RG3, bust. Blaine Gabbert, bust.
So it
Tim
looks like you
Tebow,
can't trade up for
bust.
any quarterback, according to you.
Jets. I'm just giving you the facts, brother. Jets secure Sanchez, bust. Josh Freeman, bust. Flacco, I give you that one. He won a Super Bowl. It's funny because it's facts. Brady Quinn,
it's
bust.
funny because
Cutler,
Brady
bust.
Quinn's not even a
Campbell,
top 10 pick.
Bust. JP Lossman, bust. These are all the picks that were traded up to draft a quarterback.
Okay. Well,
Now
what about
we
Lamar
can
Jackson?
now okay. I said Lamar Jackson. I gave you that one.
Right. So
I gave you that bone.
Okay.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of, what did this article say? 29? Stop playing with me.
So that's your
29
argument.
times.
That's what you're scared
29
of.
times.
You're scared of a
29
bust?
times.
My God, give me a break.
Look, bro. I'm just giving you facts.
I'm about to give you some facts too. Whenever you're done, though.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
Here.
Let me give you some facts, bro. Let me finish. So we still going. We still going here because this thing goes all the way back. Jason Campbell, bust. JP Lossman, Kyle Bowler, Vic. I gave you that one. That was number 6. Ryan Leaf, bust. Jeff George, bust. Whoever this guy is, Steve Fuller, bust. And Steve Bartkowski. I don't even know who the fuck that is. So excuse my language, but that is what you're dealing with. So you're willing, again, to come back to my original argument, you're willing to get rid of a whole draft, because I gave you the draft chart, a whole draft worth of capital to go up and get this quarterback when you have holes at corner, you have holes at safety, you have holes at edge, you have holes on the offensive line, but you're willing to ignore all that and trade away all your draft capital, literally a whole draft worth of draft capital to go get a quarterback when there's no quarterback consensus-wise that is a generational, as they call it, QB. I'll stop there. I'll let AC rebuttal, and then I'll come back with my next argument. Go ahead, Adam.
Here we go.
Real quick. Hold on, real quick, Adam, before you get started. Can you got one question for you, NYG, real quick. Could you answer Alex in the chat? He wants to know, what is your plan if a quarterback doesn't fall to us?
What is your plan if a QB doesn't fall to us? More than likely, I will be looking to trade out of that pick and acquire more assets. Because I showed you the draft chart. You literally, you don't have enough draft capital to really trade up. Honestly,
let me take you down.
You ass betting.
Let me take you down memory lane. All right? Can we get some music?
Adam,
music in the
floor
background.
is yours.
I'm about to take you on a journey. The journey starts in 2004 by the name of Eli Manning coming out. The New York Giants, you know what they did? They traded their pick. They gave up their first pick. They gave up a couple other picks in the rest of their 2004 round, and then they gave up their first and their fifth in their next round pick. You know what happened there? Oh, there we go. Yes. It's story time with me. You know what happened there? They got Eli Manning. They brought in Kurt Warner. Their team wasn't great. They knew they weren't going to be great. But Tom Coughlin brought him in anyways. You know what happened that next draft? The same thing that you had, the same anger and vitriol about, oh my God, we gave him 20 picks. Oh my God, Sean Marion, he's going to be so good. You know what happened after he hoisted 2 Lombardis? Nobody gave a shit. Oh, by the way, you know what they did in 2005? They brought in Plaxico Burress. They brought in Kareem McKenzie. They brought in Antonio Pierce. They built the team already. It wasn't like, oh my God, you traded up to get this quarterback, which now you're not going to give up your whole draft. No one's ever given up their whole draft except for fucking Mike Ditka when his dumb ass gave up his entire draft for Ricky Williams. That was stupid. Plus, this move is not about 2024. Well, there's holes in this roster. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, you got free agency this year. You got free agency next year. You can move around money. You know this as well as I do. They're not going to be crippled if there's a chance that the Chicago Bears are letting you call for that pick. Either Drake May or Caleb Williams, whatever one you deem is good, is one of the better quarterbacks, and you think you're going to hit on him. You don't just sit back and worry about 1975 and the numbers that you put up. Because I'm sure the Buffalo Bills are angry that they traded up to get Josh Allen. I'm sure the Kansas City Chiefs are angry that they got Patrick Mahomes. You got to take a risk. You got to have skin in the game. I'm sure the Giants are upset that they got Eli Manning in 2004, had to give up all those draft picks. I'm sure they are. Who cares? And by the way, you're not going to be set back 10 years, as you say, because they have a rookie wage scale for a reason. The reason they made the wage scale is so they can get out of contracts easy. So they don't have to worry about sitting there for 5 years worrying about a guy. Say, oh, man, this guy fucking sucks like we did. You want to know what quarterback hell is? Quarterback hell is sitting where we are right now in 2019, drafting a guy, waiting 6 years for him to pan out to only then have a chance to get quarterbacks. And we want to hold on to our assets. Oh, my God, because we can't get a cornerback. Yet last year we traded up to get Deontay Banks. We traded up to get Jalen Hyatt. No one's caring about those fucking draft picks. Okay, this is the quarterback is the main staple to a rebuild. You do what you can to get them. You don't worry about a draft chart and about future draft capital because you have free agency and you don't know what moves they could make. They can throw in a player here. They can get rid of guys. We are rebuilding. Okay, we don't have time to worry about, oh, we got to fill holes. This isn't going to be built in a day. When you get the quarterback, that signals the rebuild and that gives you more time. Because guess what? If they don't do it and they don't trade up or don't get a quarterback in general, their asses are all out the door next year if they don't make the playoffs. Okay, period. You get a quarterback in here, you at least have a foundation to build on. You at least have somebody in here that you can mold and groom. And you saw last year what 3 different quarterbacks did on this team. So you can't tell me that bringing a guy from here, whether it's Caleb Williams, and they give the pick moving up and taking a couple first round picks. If Caleb Williams came in here, let's make it that it's him. That's the guy, right?
Hey, real fast, Adam. I'm gonna have to get going, but you guys hold it down. I love you guys' takes. I'll be watching, but I'm gonna have some communication issues. I'm on the move, that's why. But hey, I'll be watching. Thank you for holding it down. Thank you for joining the show, Unpopular. And you guys got it. Let's get it. I'll be watching. Lions Chiefs for Super Bowl. That's my prediction. Let's get it.
Everybody always be
All right, brother.
interrupting my rants, yo. But the point is, see, now I'm lost. Thanks. My point is that if Caleb Williams is the guy, right, and you deem him the guy, and that pick is open for sale, you go to the best bidder. You don't worry about the draft capital because you can put the team together. Because if Caleb Williams holds up a Lombardi in a few years for you, am I going to sit back and say, well, man, gee golly willikers, I'm so mad that we gave up that first round pick that's a nobody. And if it's a bust, it's a bust, but you're not going to know it's a bust if you sit back on your hands and do nothing. I'd rather have them be aggressive and go get a guy and fail than not do anything at all and trade back and get fired. Because if you do that, and you can't tell me the crop of quarterbacks that are coming out next year is as good as this one. You have a chance to go get one, get one. And if it means you have to trade up, trade up. I'm not worried about future assets that I don't even know where they're going to land. For all we know, we could be 25 in 2025. So what does that draft pick mean? Like, come on.
You done? Are you done?
Well, I mean,
I got to be done.
that was.
Go ahead.
That was some good stuff right there, Adam. Good stuff. As I was saying, that was some good stuff right there, Adam. Good stuff, NYG, man. I don't know if you have any more. If you want to respond once again to Adam, anything he just said just now in his take,
Absolutely.
or
So
Of course I do.
check it out, man. So I hear what you're saying, but the problem is
Scared money don't make money.
you're trading up to number one. That's the issue, because you can't get your quarterback unless you trade up to number one. Do you agree? Because you have other, you got Washington, New England. So if you want your quarterback, you have to go to one
to get.
But I'm saying the trade up. We're talking about the trade up. So I'm not talking about if you stay at 6. Now, if you stayed at 6, that's a different story. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. Let's check out the quarterback history. Now, I'm going to exclude last year's draft because those are rookies, and we could probably even exclude 2021, but I'll list off 2022, but I'll list off 2022 just in case. First quarterback, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Billy Zappi, Sam Howell, and I don't even know the rest. Brock Purdy was the last quarterback pick, probably the best one. So again, you trading away assets, and you might not even get the best fucking quarterback. No, okay, let me keep going. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Davis Mills, Ian Brook, and some other body right there. So that jury's still out. Again, some might argue Justin Fields, some might argue Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence didn't have the best season, but he may be the best quarterback of that draft. So I'll give you that one. Then you got the Joe Burrow draft. Tua, Herbert, Love, Hurts.
Burrow.
So again, you got Burrow, but you still got Herbert, who you love to death.
What are you talking about? Stop right there.
Hold up. At number 6, you still got a good fucking quarterback. You still got Jordan Love in the 4th, at number 26. You still got Hurts in the 2nd round. So again,
so you're proving my point. You take a quarterback at 6. What is the deal?
I'm not proving your point. My point is the trade up.
The trade, you're trying to argue that we shouldn't trade up to get Caleb Williams. All right, I'm saying if the first overall pick is there,
exactly what I'm arguing.
If the first overall pick is there, you make the move to go up and get Caleb Williams. Period. If you can stay at 6 and there's a quarterback, you take a quarterback there, and you don't risk trying to get one later on in the draft. See, what you're thinking is you're devaluing the quarterback position. That's what you're doing.
I'm not devaluating anything. You're putting words in my mouth. Pause. I'm telling you, I'm not willing to. I'm not. I'm not willing to give away everything that I got.
You're not
to go
giving
get
away
this
everything. And what are we
Yes,
playing
you
here?
are, bro. I just gave you the draft
Oh
chart.
my
What are you
God,
talking about?
bro. My God,
You're
you're
trading
worried.
a
You're
bunch
worried
of
about giving
fucking
up stuff.
assets.
Who cares? If the end of the
Who cares? You
let
have
me ask you a
holes on your
question.
roster.
Let me ask you a question. Are we trying to win Lombardis or are we trying to just
Who
get to the
cares?
playoffs? Are we trying to
Yeah,
win
does a
Lombardis?
quarterback himself win you a
Are we
Lombardi?
trying to win
Does a quarterback
Lombardis?
himself? Does
Are
a
we trying to
quarterback
win
himself
Lombardis?
when you?
Who gets the MVP
Does
every
a
year in the Super
quarterback
Bowl?
himself
Who
win you
gets the
Lombardi?
MVP every year in the Super Bowl? Every
I
year.
don't care about the fucking MVP
I'm
in
just
the
saying,
Super
you
Bowl,
just
dog.
said, are we here to win Lombardis or not?
What are
Because
you
at the end of the
talking about?
day, if you go up and get a guy that
That's
you
a
have
fucking
conviction on, and you
popularity
think he can
award.
win you Lombardi trophies, you don't
Fucking
worry about
MVP
the
of the Super Bowl.
fucking first round draft pick that you don't even know where it's going to be next year. You're worried about things that you can't even see because you want, what is the saying? A bird in the hand is better than two in the
Okay,
bush. Whatever the
that
fucking
first
shit is.
round draft pick, that you're not worried about, that you don't care
Class
about.
in 2005, you think they were worried about that draft pick? They still got Corey Webster. Who cares?
How do you think the Carolina Panthers feel right now that they gave up that motherfucking pick to fucking the Bears to go get Bryce Young, and now it's the first pick in the draft?
I'm sure they're if they hit on Bryce Young, why would it matter? And oh, by the way, next year if they still stink, they'll be in the top 10 to take another quarterback. What are we doing here? Okay, if this were the 1990s,
you're talking about winning Lombardis.
I'm talking about winning Lombardis. If Caleb Williams wins a Lombardi, I don't care what we gave up. I'm not worried what we gave up. You got to take a swing. You don't hit home runs by staring at the ball going over the plate. You have to take a swing. And if you strike the fuck out, you strike the fuck out. But I'm tired as a Giants fan sitting here saying, well, we can't go do this because we have so many holes. Great, we have holes. But that's the job of the GM is to fill out the fucking roster. You're not going to get Hall of Fame.
How's he supposed to fill it if he ain't got no bread, bro?
What
How you supposed to buy something? You ain't got no money.
We've had teams that
have
had
away
worse opportunities. You're worried about the Panthers? Who cares? The Panthers just got Dave Canellis. If he turns that guy around, no one's going to remember the 2023 first-round draft pick that they have. That they gave away. No one's gonna care.
Remember it? The fucking
no one's gonna care.
If Bryce Young
goes on to win Lombardis for them, they're not gonna give a shit. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Do I
care? All right.
That came up for Eli Manning.
Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down a little bit, fellas. Let's bring it down a little bit. Appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But good stuff. Good stuff. You're both very passionate about your points. Very passionate. You know, I'm not going to declare no winner to this debate because both of y'all opinions are very valid. Respect both of them. Y'all made good points, but we'll take it down. We'll chill out for right now, man. Maybe y'all can talk about that at another time. You know what I mean? We'll see how everything all plays out.
Adam doesn't make a dumb point. I'm not arguing his point like it's stupid. I'm just saying to me, in the Giants' position right now with this roster,
when are we going to do it?
It doesn't.
So when are we going to do it,
bro? Just like you're willing to be patient with a rookie quarterback, you got to be patient with your team that.
But
bro.
You can't. That's
not
how you play things. That's not how you do it. That's not how the NFL is built. There's one outlier in the entire NFL that's done it that way. Every other team has either had a guy and they've moved on, and their team happened to be built for them, but they move on from their quarterback. Look what Tampa Bay did. They had Jameis and Winston. They said, fuck it. We have to pull the trigger on Tom Brady. But you don't know when that opportunity is going to come. I can't just sit on my hands and say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till, I don't know, Jordan Love decides to hang it up or Patrick Mahomes decides to fight with Andy Reid and wants out of Kansas City. And that's when I'm going to take my quarterback. That's not how it works. You can't just sit back and be patient because every year is a year-to-year league. The NFL is built on fucking mediocrity. That's what Roger Goodell loves. Why? So we can sit here at a 6-11 season and high-five ourselves because we're still in the playoff hunt. That's what he wants. So, yeah, you win to go from worst to first quickly. But at the end of the day, if you look at the fucking 16 teams that are in the playoffs, 3 of them weren't first-round quarterbacks. And those 3 were Dak Prescott.
3 out of 16, bro.
3 out of 16. That's a small percentage.
Do the math. Right.
Small percentage.
So what are we talking about here? You're arguing my point now.
What are you talking about?
That you don't have to go crazy and Google and fucking reach for this quarterback. You don't.
You just because here's the thing.
If you think Brian Dable is a quarterback guru,
I
You
agree.
shouldn't be mad
Listen.
at him
Why
taking a
are we
quarterback in the
arguing right
third
now?
round.
Because I say take a quarterback at 6, and people want to fight with me. Now we talk about trading up, and you're worried about assets that we don't get. Yeah, if you have a chance to go get Caleb Williams, you fucking do it, and that's it. And bottom line, you go for it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm not going to sit here and worry about that. But at 6, I told you if there's a quarterback there, you take him. You don't get cute and try to trade down and do all the bullshit that everyone's telling me about. You take the guy and you go. Right? That's how I look at it. I'm not worried about next year. If you want to take the quarterback and then take whatever in the second round, that's fine with me. I think we have a first round quarterback problem. That's what we have, a day 1 quarterback problem. And I don't think Caleb Williams is the only guy on the board. I'm not saying if there were 1 or 2 guys, I'd trade the entire farm. I'm not opposed of what you're saying. I'm not worried, but my point is I'm not worried about assets that I don't know where they're going to land. All I'm saying is if they're going to trade, which I don't think they are, they might. You need to be on the phone and see how much it's going to take to get there. And if it's a couple first round draft picks and a player, okay, you do it. Okay, but it's not going to be a Mike Ditka draft. Trust me on this. And the other thing is, at 6 is all I'm saying. At 6, there's no excuse to Giants not to walk away from this draft with a quarterback. There's no excuse in the first 2 days. I will give you the first 2 days. I don't even want a third round pick, but if you have to and must, there are some guys you can work with. Because I believe in Brian Dable to bring a guy in here. But the thing is, the reason why I say get one in the first round is because financially you can build your team out. You got a guy on a small deal. You can then, what you do in 2025 when your cap goes up and fucking Daniel Jones contract comes off the books and your salary cap goes up, you can then bring in the players that you need to start to build that line. Okay? And then if you decide to, right, you now have that longevity and you can lock up guys and not worry about that because you have that small contract. Look at all the teams that build. They usually build when their rookie is on a quarterback deal, and then they require their talent. I don't want to be stuck here next year in 2025 because fucking Brian Dable and fucking Joe Shane decided to get cute and say, let's run it back with fucking, one-legged fucking the peg leg, fucking Daniel Jones with the 2 neck injuries and his fucking ACL.
Damn.
And we run it back with that motherfucker.
No
And we say,
that guy, man.
huh? No, listen.
Go ahead.
Daniel Jones can kiss my ass, okay? He's done nothing to warrant anything, and he needs some competition in here. And if I'm Joe Shane, I am not putting my fucking legacy on that guy's back because it's already brittle. It's already broken twice. And if it breaks again, guess what? You're all out of a job, okay? Because how many executives from the Giants have gotten jobs around the league? You're basically committing career suicide.
Oh, shit. My man, he in the finals for a job, so
Who?
Bruce Brown, my man Brown.
Yes, because they haven't got it back yet. He has time. They're like, oh, you're good. You're not damaged yet. But they sit there. You know what he's going to say in those interviews? Hey, were you the man that signed Daniel Jones? Like, hell no. I told Joe Shane to back away. But what I'm saying to you is this. We can agree that we need a quarterback. That's what we can agree on. We may not agree on how we get that quarterback, and we may differ on what we value in assets, but I don't think it would cripple us if we went up and got Caleb.
Yeah, I'm still not with the trade up.
Great way to bring that home.
But I do agree with you. We do need a quarterback, and like I
welcome to my island.
Like our preference before I came on the show, I didn't want to make this a Daniel Jones battle.
To my island.
I'm not defending the fact that Daniel Jones, even though he's going to be here next year, so people just going to have to deal with it.
I don't care.
I'm not defending that he should be the quarterback moving forward.
And here's what
I'm
not
not defending that shit.
Welcome to Costas Island. It took you long enough to get here. You have amenities on your left. You have a nice Copacabana on your right. We built this for people who decide to come over to the island. Mac is now a resident of the island. Zion is now a resident of the island. NYG, you are a visitor. You're always welcome back to this island of standing on here I'm just saying because for 2 years I've been saying we need a new quarterback for 2 years. And I've been browbeaten by many people, you included, about why we shouldn't have done it. And here we are. And all I'm saying to you is welcome to the island. Welcome to the island, because all I'm doing when I talk about Daniel Jones is I want greatness for our team. I want to be the team where I can be like where you are. a fan and actually fan out, because sometimes, and this is what sometimes can get people in trouble, is when you are a fan and you let your fan goggles on and you explain football, sometimes it gets in the way of the actual point. So sometimes when you think I'm not fanning, it's because I do that deliberately. I deliberately have to take the fan hat off to give you the content that I need to give you, because I can't do it through giant colored glasses. But what I was saying with Daniel Jones in the overall grand scheme of things is I want to be better than what he is. I want to be in the conversation every year of fighting for the playoff. I don't care that the Bills lost in the playoffs, but they got Josh fucking Allen. Do you think every year their fan base is revved up and ready to go? We can beat any motherfucker out there? That's what I want. I want to get back to that. Eli Manning may not be the best looking dude or the best quarterback you ever see, but god damn it, that guy was in every game. That guy was in every fucking game, and he gave us a chance to win every game, no matter what the score was. And every week, I went into that game knowing I had a quarterback that was gonna bring it every Sunday, and we had a chance to win. And that's all I want.
I think quarterback development is something you have to think about, because as I mentioned, 6 out of 29. You know,
situations matter, homie.
And
I know
situations matter. That's what I'm saying. Nobody is sitting here banging the table like Brock Purdy is the end all be all quarterback, even though some fools had him as like the top 5 quarterback MVP. But we all know that's the Shanahan system. That's the system that he was drafted into. You know, same thing with Jalen Hurts. You know, a banging team, a bomb team that got to the Super Bowl, but then they fell off this year. Second round quarterback. But think about it. Hold up. Let me spit for a minute. Think about it though. You can definitely get a quarterback, Dak Prescott. Nobody likes Dak Prescott, but he's getting the Cowboys to the playoffs every year. Absolutely, but he's getting the fucking team to the playoffs. So if we're just trying to get to the playoffs and we're just trying to get in there, then cool. But to me, this generational quarterback, it's hard to chase that bag.
Could have had it.
It really is. It really is. Josh Allen don't grow on trees, and for some reason
where was he picked?
That's my point. So why are we trading up?
But here's the thing. That's my point is you have I get it. It's whatever flavor of the month you want. Every situation is different. That's why you fucking suck and you're in the top 10 to have that chance. That's why I'm excited for a lot of these quarterbacks because of fucking Brian Daboll. Okay, the only reason I'm excited that Brian Daboll's fucking here is because he gets a quarterback, and before he gets kicked out of town, because right now with all the shit that's going on with the Giants, it's pointing in that direction. I'd like him to get a quarterback in here that's worth a damn, not that's one that's already broken, not one that's he inherited, not one that throws 15 touchdowns. Okay, one that we know that can come in here and get the job done. And if it fails, we're on to the next guy. Okay, that's what we do. We can't sit here, and the problem with the Giants is we want to hang around with this guy. Oh, let's hang around. It's over. It's over with Daniel Jones. Time to move on. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Now, at 6, I don't care about – here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If we move up, I'm not going to cry about the fucking picks. If we don't move up, as long as we pick one at 6, I'm good. Right? I don't want to hear about this is what annoys me the most too. Oh, we can draft Neighbors at 6. First off, I don't want Neighbors. You know what I want? I want the best edge rusher at 6 if you're gonna fucking take anything. I'm not taking a receiver because Devontae Adams.
I'm kind of with you on that one, bro. Like, yeah, the receiver joint is kind of like, and there's a bunch of receivers in this draft, man. Like, I want to build the lines. If you ain't going quarterback, build these fucking lines out.
Stop agreeing with me. You're not supposed to come on here and agree.
Well, I agree with that point. I want to agree with the quarterback point, but we can definitely agree with the line.
Here's what we agree with the quarterback point. The thing that we don't agree on is whether or not we want to give up the farm. And I do not think it's going to be as much as you think it is, and you think that it'll set us back. I don't. But at the end of the day, to me, there are too many quarterbacks in this draft to circle Caleb or Drake. I've been telling people, don't get your hopes up about those two guys. Look into Bo Nix. Look into Jaden Daniels. Look into fucking Penix Jr. Those guys are all better prospects than Daniel Jones ever was coming out. Case in point blank, period. Okay, and if you believe in fucking Brian Dable and developing quarterbacks, because the 3 quarterbacks that we saw this year, 2 out of the 3 that weren't getting paid $160 million, elevated the team, then yes, I want to give that guy a chance. And I'm not afraid of drafting J.J. McCarthy because he came from the Harbaugh system. Now, people are going to be crazy about him, but if you listen to the draft people, they love the guy. If you listen to draft people, they love fucking Bo Nix. His stock is rising. Jaden Daniels, I think, would be perfect for this offense. But hey, I digress, right? I think, to me, my quarterback 1 isn't even Caleb Williams. It's Drake May, to be honest with you, but that's just me. But I understand why you would go up to 1 if it's there, because Caleb Williams is the highest rated prospect. But to do it, but I think they're good enough. I shouldn't say good enough. There are just as good quarterbacks that could be developed into great quarterbacks with Brian Dable. There's got J.J. McCarthy's got immense traits. And the thing that I love about him the most that people don't talk about, 2 qualities. 1, he's a leader among men. And 2, he understands pre and post snap reads. Daniel Jones don't do that. Okay. The moment that I really was intrigued by J.J. McCarthy was when he was in an interview and they asked him, why did you make that throw against Ohio State? He said, in film study, when that guy turns his head, I knew once he turned his head, I could lace that ball right behind his ear hole. And guess what? That guy, 25, dropped his head, turned, and what did he do? He said, shit, let it go. Right? That's the type of shit that you don't hear that Daniel Jones does. And to me, I can work with those tools. Bo Nix, I think, has an immense skill set. But people worried about his age. I'm like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? The guy's not 28 years old. Like, quarterbacks play till they're like damn near 40. So what are we talking about here? And Michael Penix Jr., I think if you're talking about,
I think he's the best quarterback. Yeah, I think so. I think he's the best in the class.
Who?
I mean, from a pure arm talent standpoint, you know, he might not be the athletic quarterback that a lot of people want, but from a pure pocket passer, from a pure just quarterback throwing the football standpoint, being able to read defenses and his anticipation is off the charts. I think that dude is the number 1 quarterback, man, but he'll probably be the last one picked. And that's my point again. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to reach for one.
You're basically making my point. Round. The only thing we're arguing about is compensation to the first overall pick, which at the moment is up in the air because we don't know if it's going to be there. If anything, I think they would trade to number 2 and go get Drake May, to be honest with you, if you want a real scenario. That
would be the worst possible thing they think they could do.
Why, you don't like Drake May?
No. I think he's, out of all the quarterbacks you name, I put him last, to be honest with you. I watched this film in Carolina, and somebody put a real good stat on Twitter. You probably seen it about his grade under pressure, and he's near the bottom. Literally, he's near the bottom under pressure. And to your point, Bo Nix is number 1, and J.J. McCarthy's number 2.
I love those 2 prospects. I think they got the giant look. I think they would help immensely elevate. I mean,
we need a quarterback that can handle pressure, bro. Keep it a buck.
Right. We need one that doesn't short circuit when shit breaks down. That's the problem that Daniel has. Is between
and
the
Drake May has that same problem. Trust me.
But to be honest with you, I think Bo Nix is going to be up the charts. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants take McCarthy or Nix at 6. Those are the 2 targets. I would like Jaden Daniels just because of his running ability. I guarantee you that Jaden McCarthy is going to run a 4.5, which is also going to boost his stock. He's probably going to throw off the charts at the combine where people are going to be like, I didn't know he could make that throw. And everyone's going to go back and watch tape because Jim Harbaugh, and someone got mad the other day, and I'm like, yo, I'm not punishing Jaden McCarthy for his offense being built to run. I can't penalize him for that. But when
you can't.
You agree with me there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can't because he wasn't asked to do a lot of what some of these other quarterbacks was asked to do because they were so run heavy.
But when the throws were there to be made, the NFL throws, he made them, and that's what I'm looking at. The pressure. There's one throw in the highlight reel where he throws across his body on a rope to the other side for a touchdown. I'm like, yo, that's a throw that's a Mahomesian throw. You know, here's a guy that I like, but I don't know if I want him for the Giants, who intrigues me with a skill set is Spencer Rattler. Like the things I read about Spencer Rattler, if I was a GM, I'd probably run and say, yo, draft him in the first round because he's got all the talent. He's got oozing talent. He was a 5-star recruit coming into college and shit. But people don't like him because of what happened in the thing. Someone just sent me a Twitter about Jim Nagy, and Jim Nagy saying if anyone doesn't know who he is, he's a Senior Bowl kind of coordinator, and he goes, man, people. And you have to excuse my voice. I'm coming off a cold. He said that people in the NFL circles, scouts, are higher on him than the media is, and that's what happens with us. The media hypes up sometimes the wrong guys, and the scouts come out and find them. I'm with you. I believe Brian Daboll is the guy to develop a quarterback at least. And if you like Brian Daboll, I don't know if you do. I'm on the fence with the guy. But in order to save his job, he needs a quarterback. And he can't get cute with it. He can't hope that Michael Penix is going to be there because guess what? Minnesota needs a quarterback. Atlanta might need a quarterback. There are so many teams in the middle rounds, in the 19 to in the 12 to like 19 range that are going to need quarterbacks and might take one. Yes, Big Blue in the Bronx. When you go down there, you need to circle two guys.
Yeah, shout out to Adam. I'm Alex. He gonna be in the at the Senior Bowl, man. Shout out to you, man. Hope you get some good info, man, on the prospects out there, man.
First off, make sure you're hanging around Joe Shane within earshot to hear what we're doing with the first pick. But second off, make sure you get notes on Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler because Spencer Rattler is by reputation he's going down. But if Joe Shane wants to do and get cute and say fuck it, and he turns to Brian, and Brian's like, yo man, we fucked ourselves on quarterback because we decided to get cute and punt, and now in the second round we're desperate. Take a flyer on that guy, fine, but do it with one of your 2 second-round picks. I do not want to leave here with a third-round quarterback because I don't want to hear about Davis Webb. He was the worst third-round quarterback we had. If Spencer Rattler is the only guy that I want to see rise up the boards. If the Giants were in a different position, let's say they were in LA Charger territory, or they were maybe the Jets, right? I would be able to take Spencer Rattler in the second round in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't be a problem. The other scenario I wanted to bring up to you was this. If the Giants had Hendon Hooker on the roster, or Hendon Hooker, right, and last year they drafted him, I would be all over I wouldn't even be all over Malik Neighbors. I'd be all over edge rusher at number 6 and not worrying about a quarterback because I tried to run it with Hendon Hooker. At the worst case scenario, you tried, it didn't work, you failed, boom, move on, right? But we have nobody here. That's why when you say to me that my narrative is Daniel Jones and only that, it's not that. It's more than that. Daniel Jones just happens to be the whipping boy that happens to come up because he's on my team. You know what I'm saying?
He's a whipping boy.
The gross overall message that I want people to understand is that, one, I've been on this island by myself, but 2, I want us to be great.
Actually, you haven't. There's quite a portion of the Giants fan base that feel exactly how you feel.
Oh yeah, I'm in their Twitter spaces every day. But my point is this: Spencer Rattler has a Mahomesian type skill set. He's not Mahomes, but that's what they're comparing him to, Spencer Rattler. But at the end of the day, the Giants need to find their guy and make the move. The reason I'm beating the table and beating the drum for this so hard is because I'm tired of the Giants half-assing this. Go out, get your quarterback, rebuild, move on, and we can all, as Giant fans collectively, say, fine, fuck it. The albatross is out of the room. We can move on to the next guy. And if the next guy fails in 2 years, who's going to be banging the drum to get him out of here? Me. Right? I don't have time to wait for you to decide to be good. We either know you've got talent, like Eli Manning wasn't great in the 2004, but there were some glimmers of hope. And you're like, oh man, if we can do some things. And then in 2005, it carried over. And then it kept on going. Yes, he was maligned and things were going on, but it's the New York media, right? But this year, now, with the rookie wage scale, you can move off guys. So I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I think the Giants need to come away with a new toy. I'm glad we had this debate because I was coming in here thinking that all you thought was that I hated Daniel Jones, and I hope you come away with I have more.
Nah, I've never been like I've tried to clarify myself, but people are not you, Adam, but a lot of people on Twitter and on YouTube or whatever, they're just like, if you don't outright bash the guy, then you must be a supporter of him, and that's never been my take. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted what was best for the Giants team. And the only reason I got behind Daniel Jones is because the man led us to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, cool. If you want to give him a contract, all right, cool. I didn't know this shit was going to happen. I didn't know he was going to get hurt again and,
Well,
not look great the first fucking 4.5 games. Who knows? You can't predict injuries. You know what I'm
I
saying?
could have
So,
I could have told you that was coming, but I'm glad
yeah,
you see. The thing is, that's what I need to hear from you, because I was one of those guys that, and no matter what circle I went into, and even Mac was here. And I wish Zion was here, because he jumped down my throat in a phone call we had one day, because I told him, man, Daniel Jones ain't it, man. And he was like, kind of like you, man. He went to the playoffs with you. I'm like, yo, man, I see past the fool's gold, man. He's not going to do anything past this. And I gave all my reasons. I was a lawyer up. I had the thing that people didn't understand about me is I gave you reasons as to why I did not want this man on as our quarterback. I didn't just hate the guy to hate the guy. That's what people thought. I went through the thing. Max says that it was a draw. It was a no contest. It was a double count out in this case. But don't worry, I'll hit him in the back here soon.
with the steel chair. Oh man.
Yeah, Max would have laid the smacketh down on you. Don't ever talk about my friend like that again. Getting back to the story, Zion was like, you're negative. I can't hang out. You're doing yourself a disservice. I said, listen, man, I'll die on this hill, but this is the hill I'm going to die on. It's the hill I believe that the Giants want. And I called up AK, and he goes, listen, man, don't listen to anybody. All you want is greatness from the position, and you should expect that. And that's what people don't need to understand. And that's my message was, I know we can do better than Daniel Jones. That's why I'm not praising him having 15 touchdowns when I'm looking at the league and guys who are worse than who shouldn't be throwing that many touchdowns. They're throwing 20 touchdowns. And I'm like, oh, bro, what are we doing here, right? So, and then people were trying to defend, EPA. And I'm like, what are we doing here? And at the end of the day, here I am right now on my island of relevancy. And Zion apologized to me. Mac looked me in the eye and goes, hey, bro, I'm sorry. I doubted what you said. And I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to, run the victory laps, but I tried to warn people like, yo, this is not a good idea. See, now had we franchise tagged him, we would not be in this predicament right now. We would not be sitting here saying, well, he's going to come back.
Yeah, but then you don't get Bobby O. You don't get some of the pieces you got in free agency. So I that's why I can see why they did that. I honestly can see why they did that. Now, to Joe Shane's credit,
are we sure they wouldn't got Bobby O?
And he only made it basically a 2-year deal. So to his credit, I get it. That's why I wasn't mad at it. That's why I wasn't going crazy and talking a bunch of crap. But Dave Gettleman, I felt like probably would have gave Daniel Jones a 5 or 6 year deal, backloaded the contract, and yeah, we would have been stuck. So, I mean, you got to clap it up for your GM for that. Listen, you know what I'm saying?
I told people that same thing. I got met with vilified. You know how this is my life the last year and a half. Let me tell you, I've lost friends, family, been blocked by people, been kicked out of Giant spaces and communities because I believe this guy wasn't the guy. Not one person came and said anything except for like Mac and Zion, who were like, yo, man, I'm sorry that I ever, said whatever I had to say. And Mac wasn't even that harsh. He was just trying to give him a chance. Other people were harsh. And so pardon me if I take a little more vitriol to that, because people told me they were going to come for my neck if he was good. They were like this. And I said, you know what? I will take the lumps, but he's got to prove to me something. And I heard people talking to me, well, one drive with the Panthers, one drive against the Panthers, we're going to the Super Bowl, we're doing this, and the first game of the year, fucking the wheels fell off the fucking bus. And it hasn't been the same since. And all I'm saying right now, and this is what I've been saying, is you're in the top 10 for a reason. Go get your guy. Because I believe that Brian Daboll, with any of these guys, can really make them good for the Giants. Right. And I believe getting in here and getting tutelage from Brian Daboll and really maximizing his effort can really, sustain this team. To give look what Tommy DeVito did. Look what Tyrod Taylor did. Brought new energy to this team. People were like, right. Tyrod Taylor comes in and throws the ball all over the yard. We're like, yo, Jalen Hyatt, man. Didn't know he had those wheels. So that's all I'm saying. And once we get in, I'm telling you, fellas, once we get in that move and we can get back to being a respectable franchise, this era that we're sitting in right now will be a blip on the radar screen. Telling you, this is why I'm believing in it. 20 years ago to the day we drafted Eli Manning, 20 years ago on draft day, guess what? I'm telling you, don't call me crazy. I believe in synergy. Synergy's going to come back and bless us at the 6th pick, and our quarterback is going to be that guy.
How patient do you think, first of all, John Mara would be with Joe Shane and Brian Dable, and then his fan base if we took a quarterback, which I think they will at some point. I'm not sure it's going to be at 6, but if they take a quarterback and say they win 5 games next year, do you think John Mara and his fan base will be patient enough to let them play it out with this new quarterback?
Not if it's a second round or later. No. If it's the first round, yes. That's the only way you save your job. If you draft one in the top 10, that guarantees you at least a year. Now, whether or not Mara will let you do that, one of those two guys will survive with a new quarterback, whether the record is. If they don't draft the quarterback or they draft one in the 5th round and they try out Daniel Jones, they both deserve to walk out the door, right? So Joe Shane's got to pick his guy that he believes that Brian Dable can handle and that he knows that the next guy can come in. That's why I think J.J. McCarthy is almost the perfect fit because he's 20 years old. You can sit him behind Daniel Jones for 8 games, let Daniel get his ass kicked and say, hey, kid, start, right? And come out and play, right? Or if Daniel's not healthy, you let the young guy come out. I think Brian Dable will be able to build an offense around him where we're competitive and have a functioning offense with this quarterback. Because if you look at the year that Daniel Jones had, that is a rookie year level type of quarterback play that I expect. If you were to tell me my rookie is going to come in and throw for 3,200 yards and 15 touchdowns and look like a competent quarterback, I'd be like, oh, that's a good start, right? For your first year. Your 6th year in the league, I expect you to get to 4,000 yards.
But you gotta think about that first. You gotta think about that first year too. What happened? What did we win? 4 or 5 games, and Shermer got fired. That's why I asked the question that I asked.
But who was still here?
How patient? Gettleman
and the quarterback. So it's
So basically, Brian Dable's ass is gonna be out the door.
Right. But if they get cute, let's say, and they don't get a Penix Jr. and they try to run it with Joe Milton or somebody there that they fall in love with, who they think they're trying to outsmart everybody, but oh man, no one sees this coming. We're gonna pick Joe Milton in the 3rd round and look like smart asses, right?
Do that, yeah.
No, you're not gonna be. See, the thing is this. You want to believe in the guy, and the 1st round pick makes you believe in the guy because, like I told you, 16 teams in the playoffs, 3 of them were quarterbacks that weren't picked in the 1st round, right? And right now, the 4 teams that are playing right now, only one of them is not a 1st round quarterback. My point is, if you want your job to survive, I think John Mara will give you a little bit more leeway. If you come in and you win 5 games and the rookie wins you a couple games at the end of the year, you probably don't get fired because they probably will say, okay, you're here. If they're a complete dog shit or they don't do anything at the position or the guy is a complete bust, because the thing is this, if you take one of those back-end quarterbacks and you fail, guess what? Everybody goes, the next GM is coming in to pick the quarterback. So either in 2024, you get a guy in here that you can groom, that you think has talent, that you don't have to worry about. So in 2025, we can go pick something else, right? Maybe a receiver, tight end, whatever the fuck you want at that point. Or you're going to be doing the same thing we're going to do here. And you know the Giants' luck. They're going to say, hey, what do you do? We don't want to fucking tank for the next quarterback. We're going to high-five it and win a fucking game that we don't need to win and get out of the top 3 and not get a good quarterback and run the cycle back. We need somebody in here, somebody of value. A 1st or 2nd round pick is high value. Those are picks that you are building your roster on. Your 3rd and 4th round picks are guys that you think are hopefully borderline starters / contributors. Your 5th to 7th rounders, those guys make up your back end of your roster. If you spring gold like a Tyreek Hill, well, then you just found a gem, right? Sometimes you stumble upon those. But when you're drafting those guys in those rounds, you don't know if you're going to get a superstar. They're anomalies, but you know you're going to get superstars in the first round. So that's why I say invest now while you can.
Not necessarily. It just
All right,
depends. Like I said, it just depends.
fellas.
But go ahead, Mac. I know you got to run, man.
This
Shit.
this has been great. This has been great. Appreciate it. Been awesome. Definitely, you guys brought the heat. Y'all brought the fire. You know what I mean? The passion. Definitely appreciate it.
Always.
But we do got to move
Very,
on.
very well represented.
We got to move on real quick before we wrap things up. You know, championship weekend coming up. AFC, NFC championship game. Just keep it short, sweet. And who y'all got? Who's going to the Super Bowl?
I'll let the guests go first.
Our guest.
I think Baltimore finally gets it done. I think they get over the hump here against KC. It ain't gonna be easy, but it's time, man. It's time for Lamar to
Get some respect.
To finally put those demons to rest. I think he gets there this year. You know, no disrespect to Patty Mahomes at all, but I think I'm rolling with Lamar and the Ravens, and then the NFC. Something telling me the Lions, but I'm gonna roll with San Francisco. That was my original pick. I'm gonna stick to my guns, so I got Ravens 49ers.
I don't remember what my original pick was. I probably picked the 49ers, but I'm getting on that Cinderella story. The Detroit Lions, baby. That team, they need something to believe in. They need something to rally against. They've been counted out since game 1 on Thursday night this season, and they put a statement on national TV saying we are here. Well, guess what? That statement doesn't end on Sunday. It ends with a berth to the Super Bowl, Detroit. That's right, Detroit. You come out of nowhere, and you are it's probably going to end up falling flat in their face. I'm going to prop them up, and they're going to get their rear ends kicked on Sunday. But I like an underdog story. This team has been counted out in every game, and I'm sure they're probably counted out now. Jared Goff redemption story. I think they lose whoever the representative is in the AFC. And I think the 49ers lose to whoever the representative is in the AFC. But I'm going to go with Baltimore as well. Because one, Lamar Jackson is that dude. Okay? He is that guy. 32nd pick overall in the draft, by the way. First rounder. He is that dude, and he deserves to win. And the reason why I want him to win more than most quarterbacks, not because he's black, because that's what people are going to say, but because I want to put to bed that quarterbacks like him can't win the big game, because that's the stigma that has been. I think Steve Young's a pretty mobile guy, but that's the stigma that they've got. But I have Ravens, Lions. Let's do this.
Well, for me, I'm going a different path. I got the Niners coming out the NFC. I just think at home. I mean, even though I'm not sure, I'm not even sure that Deebo Samuel's been ruled out. I think he's been ruled out, but at the end of the day, I still think the Niners have enough to overcome. I think the defense is just incredible. I think it's going to be a little too much for Detroit to handle on this particular day on Championship Sunday, man. So I like the Niners coming out the NFC. And then the AFC is simple. One team got Patrick Mahomes, the other team doesn't. And that's just the way I feel about it. And I mean, Lamar Jackson is that dude. I agree. He's great.
He's Michael Jordan.
He's sensational.
Right now.
But Patrick Mahomes is him. Straight up.
He's Patrick the guy costing people rings. When we're sitting back 20 years from now, we're like, oh, he met Patty Mahomes. It's like Knick fans.
Like Mahomes is. I mean, until I see it, I can't bet against it. And I just feel like he's going to once again find a way on the road in a hostile environment in Baltimore. And I believe he's going to get it done, man, with his Kansas City Chiefs.
Listen,
the unfortunate part is we're going to have to see more and more Taylor Swift if that happens. But at the end of the day, it ain't about that.
If that happens, Usher's going to call her down for the halftime performance.
Might as well.
That might happen for real.
Put her ass to work. Right.
man.
You're gonna be all up in the camera, put your ass to work. Go out there and sing some damn songs.
He's gonna sing the song from her suite.
Even though her songs suck, in my opinion, but shit.
Sing the song from her suite,
But yeah, that's what I got. Got a rematch from a couple years ago. Chiefs 49ers, man.
Then who wins it then?
So,
Are you still gonna go with Patty Mahomes?
absolutely. I told you I don't bet against that guy. He's him. Pat Mahomes is him.
I love Pat Mahomes.
Straight
man.
up.
I love him to death. It's him, Herbert, and Burrow are my top three guys, man. If I had like teddy bears to go to sleep at night, those would be my three teddy bears, right there. Those three quarterbacks, because I love what they're doing. I love their game. No homo. But I don't know, man. I just want to see if this Ravens can do it, and it's going to make for a fun game this weekend. That's for sure. They're at 1:00, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
1 p.m.
Nah, that's like 3. It's more like 3 or something like that.
3 and like 6,
3 o'clock? Oh.
30.
I got the Paramount Network. They're like 1:00. I guess that means the pregame coverage. I'm not sitting through that bullshit.
Yeah.
They're going to sit here and talk to me about the teams for 2 hours and dissect them. But hey, man.
I mean,
you guys
but everybody
anything on the weekend? You got anything, any roast or food that you guys like to dabble in when you're eating on football Sunday?
man.
I'm always a wing guy.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were trying to cook the wings at the fucking thing.
Yeah. That's my go-to.
Yo, man, his barbecue was out there. He had this weak ass wings on there. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Man, that shit was tough, man. Shit was raining.
That was their first tailgate, right?
It
I'm
was
like,
raining,
this isn't their
windy.
first. This must be their first rodeo.
Yeah. We'll get better.
The weather was
They
terrible,
came there
though.
with
The weather
a
was
roll,
terrible.
they be
The
like,
weather did not do us no favors at all, for real.
Next time we got to bring.
I mean, it was like a monsoon out there. It was literally like a monsoon out there. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was. I was soaked, and I had to walk back to pick my friend up in the rain. I walked all the way to damn near Route 3 to get my ride. So, yeah, let's just have a little waterlogged.
Yeah, it was that rough. That was definitely a rough day out there.
Hey, it was good to meet you guys.
But fellas,
Absolutely, well worth
no
it,
doubt,
man.
indeed,
I'm glad you came out, Adam. You know what I'm saying? So, and to the fans, Adam's my brother. We'll spat and debate or whatever, but that's my bro, man. Definitely support him.
I will say
always.
this: I appreciate coming on. I do appreciate the banter. Now getting to talk to you, I understand more where you're coming from, and it allows me to have more of an open mind of your opinion, as opposed to what you type. Because when you read a text or a
yes, it's different. You
right.
Like,
The context
this
is
guy
different.
saying, yeah.
It's like when you read a text and somebody writes to you and you're like, you write me in all caps, you yelling at me. No, man, I'm just,
Yeah.
So, but I do appreciate that, because I was coming on here like, man, what are they going to? I had every angle in the book. I had every conversation. I rehearsed my conversation from Monday to fucking Friday to today. I had everything. So when you came out with all these notes, I'm like, oh, good, he prepared, because I prepared as well. And then it was like, oh, all right. At the end of the day, it was like, oh, you just were arguing the same point.
Same point, yeah, just different angles.
Different flavors.
Usually how it is, man, when you break it down, man. But us men, we got a little bit of an ego, so we always want to be right. But at the end of the day, I see your point for sure. But you got it,
all
Mac,
right, man. I definitely appreciate
you
y'all,
too,
brothers.
brother.
I definitely appreciate you coming through. It's been a great show, man. The debate was absolutely awesome. I sat back, enjoyed every minute of it, man. Every second of it, y'all was going back and forth. Great points, valid points, both sides, man. Y'all did y'all thing for sure, man. Really
And
bucked
that's
that
how
heat, like I said.
debate should go
So,
down.
definitely.
All these Twitter people that want to go on there and curse each other out and talk about each other's mamas and all this crazy stuff. This is how debate should go down.
Yeah,
You know
never
what I'm
use
saying?
insults.
Me and
Insult
AT don't
once you
got no
insult
beef with
somebody,
each other. Right.
that means you have no
We made
argument.
our points.
You just
Exactly.
and that's why I appreciate you coming on, because you didn't insult me, and that's what I
I
thought might
never
have
will do
happened.
that.
Because if you were
I
going to
never will do
insult
that,
me,
bro.
the world was going to come to an end, right? But it
Yeah.
didn't.
I
It
ain't
was
gonna do that.
cordial, and I
Nah.
appreciate it. Passionate but cordial.
No doubt indeed. No
Yeah.
doubt indeed. Like I said, it got a
Facts.
little heated for a minute, but it all came back full circle. We all got back on one page. The ultimate goal is the same. Like you said, just find y'all just got different paths and different ways of getting about it, and that's what it's all about. But it's been a great show, man. Another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. We will be back with y'all next Friday night at the same time, man. Shout out to my guys, Adam Costas, Unpopular Opinion Sports, Zion Zenith. I am Mac the Giants fan, man. Make sure y'all sub up to all of our channels, man.
Don't forget.
And throw them fours up for our guy, NYG Jeffy T. Always here in spirit. Always here with the team, man.
Never
So
forgotten.
we'll be
Always
back
loved.
next Friday once again, man. Most definitely, most definitely. And this has been another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. Pass.